In a diplomatic success for India's global effort to counter terrorism narratives, Colombia has officially withdrawn its earlier statement that offered condolences to Pakistan after India's Operation Sindoor. The development took place after a meeting by an Indian multi-party delegation headed by MP Shashi Tharoor during their official tour to Bogota. Indian MPs also briefed Colombia's Vice Foreign Minister, Congress MP Shashi Tharoor, who is leading the delegation to Colombia, said, and I quote, "There is no equivalence possible between terrorists on the one hand and the innocent civilians on the other hand. And India is pleased to learn that Colombian government statement is withdrawn."
Sí, hoy hemos tenido una reunión con parlamentarios de diferentes partidos, de diferentes regiones de la India.
I think you can.
Yeah, maybe you can translate.
Okay, our Vice Minister just said that we have had a fruitful dialogue today with a delegation of many different parties of the Parliament of India, that we are very confident that with the explanation that we received today and with the detailed information that we now have regarding the real situation and the conflict between what happened in Kashmir, we can follow and continue the dialogue and continue being aware of what is happening and the peace that comes with the dialogue.
In fact, the Vice Minister very graciously mentioned they have withdrawn the statement that we had expressed concern about, and that they fully understand our position on the matter, which is something we really value. Of our concerns, we have come, as I said, with a large delegation, 7 members of parliament, 2 ambassadors, and we represent 5 political parties, 7 different states in India, and 3 religions. So there's diversity of India in my delegation. But we are united in conveying the message to you as the elected representatives of the people of Colombia that India is determined to defend itself, its sovereignty and its people from the depredations of terrorists. And the terrorist attack that took place in our country on the 22nd of April required a response, because we could not allow killers to come and kill innocent tourists with impunity. We had to respond, and we're very grateful that you have shown such understanding for our concerns. There is no equivalence possible between terrorists on the one hand and innocent civilians on the other. There is no equivalence between those who attack our country and those who defend their own country. And our only disappointment with the earlier statement by Colombia was that it seemed to have overlooked this difference. We're very pleased to learn that that statement has been withdrawn, as you also mentioned, and we're also very pleased that you, as representatives of the people of Colombia, are determined to stand with us for our sovereignty, for peace in the world, for peace in the subcontinent of India, and that you are very, very happy that this kind of dialogue will continue between our peoples and our representatives. India and Colombia have a good, healthy relationship for 66 years, and I'm looking forward to the development and strengthening of our relationship, particularly as the economies of both our countries will grow, new technologies, progress in pharmaceuticals, progress in information technology, all of this will give us more opportunities for closer collaboration. And
all right, there you heard Shashi Tharoor thanking the Colombian government for withdrawing their statement in favor of Pakistan, which they gave earlier. My colleague Pallavi Ghosh is with us on the phone line. Pallavi, earlier we saw that Indonesia came in support of India, Saudi Arabia also. Now, while we have our delegation in Colombia, the Vice Foreign Minister of Colombia withdrawing that statement, how should we see this gesture?
Well, this would, of course, be seen, Arun, as a huge diplomatic win as far as the delegation is concerned. It was a little concerned that because most of the countries are supporting us as far as the Pahalgam terror attack and acts of terror from Pakistan is concerned. In that sense, Colombia stuck out as like a sore voice, and obviously there must have been backroom negotiations, and that is reflected in the kind of statement which is coming in from Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who is leading this part of the delegation. And at the end of the day, when these delegations start wrapping up and they come back home in India, and by which time the parliament session is also about to begin, this is something which is going to be the trump card to point out that there were countries which may have been initially not able to see India's concerns and hurt, is now being able to understand that what India has gone through for many, many years.
All right. Pallavi, let's also talk about the success that this diplomatic strike is getting at this point when we have 7 all-party delegations spanning across the globe. What is happening in other countries also? How those visits are going on?
So very good cooperation, I would say. Look, the main task of this delegation was to counter the misinformation campaign by Pakistan. Pakistan is also carrying out a delegation, and Pakistan plays the victim card, as you know, India cutting off the Indus Water Treaty, because of which the common man of Pakistan is suffering, and India itself has unleashed a fake propaganda against their country. It was very important for us, one, to quell this kind of a propaganda from Pakistan. Second, why we need world help and support is because one of our biggest concerns is that as long as big financial institutions like the IMF keep on giving support to Pakistan, that money is not going to be used for infrastructural development. It is going to be used to fund terror. You also have to call out the bluff of countries like Turkey, for that matter, also a certain extent China, who have provided arms and ammunition to Pakistan. That is why this delegation was important, and we have seen multiple voices to all the countries that they've traveled, whether it's Africa, Latin American countries, Colombia, of course, being one of them. All of them are in support of India. Now it moves towards the last, almost critical step, which is, of course, America, which is where the Shashi Tharoor-led delegation is going to end its trip. And the others also have been traveling to Russia and so on and so forth. In that sense, yes, of course, we can call so far so good as far as the multi-party delegation talks are concerned.
Many thanks, Pallavi, for putting this story into perspective. Now, we're getting some breaking news. Let's go to that.